Today, you are going to learn the art of telling someone that they're an idiot in a very British way. Of course, you could tell them that they're stupid or they're a fool, but why would you do that when there are so many more interesting ways to do it? I'm not going to go through the meaning of them all because they all mean pretty much the same thing, that someone is being foolish. But you will get lots of tips on pronunciation so that you can say them like a real native English speaker. There's also a free guide to all the vocabulary used in this lesson, and you can download it using the link in the description. But if you're already a member of our English Improvers community, this will be sent to you automatically. Hi, I'm Steve. Let's do this. We're going to start with a word that has become really common over the last few years because of a very popular British TV show.
Denzel, don't be a plonker all you like. Well, 3 days before the trial, this plonker pleaded guilty by post.
You ain't giving her Andrews, are you?
Don't be a plonker.
Plonker. To say this like a native English speaker, change the ER at the end to the schwa sound. That's that little sound that's so common in English. So it's not plonker, it's plonk And at normal speed, plonker. You try. Plonker is a fun word to use when someone has done something silly, and a very similar word that you can also use is pillock. Listen carefully to the end of this word. It's not pillock, as you might think because of that O. It's pillock. Pillock. You try. Pillock.
Oh, what a pillock.
Next, we have a two-word expression that, depending on how you say it, can feel a little stronger.
You dozy sod.
Remember, this one can sound a little harsh, so when you do say it with a smile and a little nod of the head, like this. You dozy sod. You try. You dozy sod. Now let's hear a few fantastic British expressions you can use. And the first one is, the lights are on, but there's nobody home. To say this in a natural way, join the R and the on together. Do this by moving the R to the front of the on. So slowly it sounds like this. R on. And at normal speed, are on. The lights are on. Try that. The lights are on. It's used like this. This is my brother. The lights are on, but there's nobody home. If someone's trying to help you, but really they're not any help at all, in fact they make things worse, you can use this expression. You're as much use as a chocolate teapot. And when you think about it, a chocolate teapot would be pretty useless, and that's how bad they are. As much use as a chocolate teapot.
You're as much use as a chocolate teapot.
Next we have my personal favourite, as thick as mince. This is mince. It's the meat that's ground up to make hamburgers. And once more, we make use of the schwa sound, this time to take the place of the A in the as. So it's as thick as mince. And at normal speed, as thick as mince. You try. And the reason this works is because thick is another word for stupid. You're as thick as mince. A classic way that British people describe others who have no common sense is to call them gormless. Now, I'm not exactly sure what a gorm is, but if you have no sense, you're gormless. A quick note here is you can use the word absolute in front of any of these to make it feel a little stronger. Let the other person know exactly what you think of them. Let's try that on the next word, numpty. Now on its own, numpty is a fun way to describe someone who's being silly. But if you put the word absolute in front of it, like this,
And I just thought, you absolute numpty, what you have given up.
it feels more serious. Notice the rhythm of how this is pronounced. You absolute numpty. You can hear it sort of spread out. You absolute numpty. Try that. You absolute numpty. An everyday word to describe an idiot is a divvy. This is great for practicing your I and E sounds. Divvy. You try. Divvy. You divvy. If the words and expressions we've looked at so far seem a little strong to you, then the next one certainly isn't. It's the gentlest way to describe someone who's being foolish, and it's to call them a silly sausage.
You silly sausage! What are you doing?
Use this when someone has made a really small error, nothing very serious. It's often used for children.
That's not right, you silly sausage.
Another thing that we can use to call someone who's a little bit silly is to call them a muppet. Like one of these, a muppet.
What's the matter?
I want the steering wheel back, you muppet.
It's important you pronounce the T on the end of this. I know sometimes in English we don't pronounce the T's, but here you need to. You are a muppet. Try that. A popular way to describe people who can't even answer a simple question is to say they're as thick as two short planks.
This Fumio, he was as thick as two short planks.
And this can even be reduced right down to just calling them a plank. You're a plank. British people love using idioms to describe others who aren't very clever. One of my favourites is, somewhere a village is missing their idiot. Or to say to someone, you're not the brightest star in the sky. And if you happen to see someone doing the stupidest thing you've ever seen, you could say to them, how do you get through the day without hurting yourself? Of course, you should be careful how you say these. Let the other person know that you're only having fun with them by a big smile, little shake of the head. Now don't be a numpty. Click here to watch another great English lesson. I'll see you next time.